So, thought about wrap things up. What do we do now?
Aye, lad. This is a tough one for sure.
Are you serious? A tough one? It's friggin' impossible! You said she went by the name Ashana the God Slayer. A God Slayer! How are we meant to deal with that?
It's a tricky one. Even if she isn't a god, her powers seem to be on the level far beyond what we were expecting. It's a strange case. Not even my powers of knowing anything about demon work. However, this Ashana has demonic energy, but I couldn't sense or read anything.
Aye, lass, but what's more? No, never mind. It's not worth mentioning.
Hey, Erronfold, what's up? It's not like you to be so down in the dumps. What in the scrap is going on? You're normally up for a challenge, or facing a stronger opponent.
There's nothing, lad, but Loki. That trick of how that blasted fiend. How he stuck me in the air, motionless, and unable to move. Don't worry about it, lad. There's nothing that can be done about it. Good old Erronfold here. Just needs a bit of time to process this one.
Yeah, sure.
What's up with the old man? Why did he go away on his own? He seems down. What gives? I haven't seen him like this before.
Neither have I. Not even when we were in dire straits. No hope of getting out of there. We were able to get out because he never gave up. More importantly, he never got down. Or seemed down. Something about this just doesn't sit right. I think we should have a chat with Erronfold. It would be bad, especially for Erronfold, if we didn't. There's no telling how this would affect him. I'm sure he'll be fine. Don't you think so, Nexum, darling?
No! We have to cheer the old dude up. Where'd he go?
Hey, Erronfold, what's up? You seem a bit down in the dumps, as they call it.
Tis you, Nexum, lad. Seems like you and everyone have come to see what's going on. I suppose it's time I told you about her.
Her? Who's her?
I guess it's time I shared a little bit about my past. And about a theory that Loki is the one who killed her.
Huh? You met Loki in your past? How old is Loki? How old are you?
It's back when I started out as an adventurer. Even further back than the last time good old Erronfold spoke to you. Just before I began to get a name. Back when I was a young lad, full of amazing talent and potential. But I wasn't bothered with all that. In fact, adventuring and slaying beasts was the last thing on my mind.
Whoa, seriously? There was a time that you weren't into slaying beasts?
Aye, lad, 'tis true. Good old Erronfold here had neither hide nor hair of slaying beasts in mind. All good old Erronfold here liked to do was spun around all day, drink, and flirt with the ladies.
You did what?
'Tis true, lass. It wasn't my finest moment, but I was young without a care in the world. Well, that was until she appeared out of nowhere. A blaze of flames as a fist flew into the face of a drunkard, causing trouble in the tavern I was relaxing in. The moment she flew past, it was as if time slowed down and she looked like a goddess before me. Her hair was red, glowing bright with the flames from her hands. The drunkard went flying as her gaze met mine. A spark ignited in my soul. It was a strange sensation. I didn't really know what was going on, but I was captivated with her beauty, as well as the fierce strike of hers. After that, she vanished from my sight. Admittedly, I was a tad drunk and lost sight of her. I went to pick up some quests in the local Adventurers Guild to cure my boredom. It was then, when I was signing up, that she strolled right past me. I couldn't believe it. I heard her name was Mana Blaze.
Erronfold, you sly dog, you. I didn't know you had it in you.
Well, it wasn't like that. Not at first, anyway. But as I was saying, this lass who appeared in front of me, in a blaze of flames, quite literally I might add, was stood there in front of me, the Adventurers Guild. I was stunned by seeing her again. Being the fool that I was, I couldn't utter a word at first. To which she made a wee bit of fun out of me. However, I noticed she was looking to slay some beasts. It was a more dangerous quest than most would take. But she seemed confident. I offered to help the lass and she decided to accept it. More so for the fact she saw I had a quest to slay a beast in the same region that she was heading to. made sense to join up and split the rewards. So off we went to the mountains of Ashana. Along the way there were many beasts in the wild, and over a few days we grew closer as we began to test who was the better fighter. To my surprise, she was what we called a battle mage, one who uses the mystic arts and that thing called magic to enhance their fighting abilities. And this started our paths as rivals, often competing to who can slay the most beasts. It was rather fun and spurred us on, pushing our limits against stronger and stronger beasts. It wasn't long before we ended up in the mountains, and our first quest began. It was to slay the famed twin-headed wolf, a mean beast, and being a wolf it was the leader of a pack of wolf-type beasts. This alpha wolf had bright purplish fur, spikes coming out of his body, and large fangs and a tail that was armoured and bone-like in appearance. Well, the pack attacked us and we slayed them one by one. It was a sight to behold. We were fighting side by side. With all this rivalry, our teamwork was as if we'd been in a party for years. It was some of the finest fighting you ever seen. The short work was made of those wolves. Leaving only the boss of this pack to be dealt with, both me and Mana were exhausted. However, both of us, even though tired, we were neck and neck on the count of beasts we slew. The boss was still at full health, and it was a mean beast. All this time it stood there watching us slay its kin, its bloodlust rising more and more, its murderous aura in the air as we poised ourselves to fight. The wolf launched itself at Mana. Suppose it thought she was the weaker one of the two, being a battle mage and all. Her defence was lower than mine. It was so full of rage I failed to see good old Erronfold here take my spear and stab its underbelly, pushing the beast to the ground and freeing Mana up to smash its core, slaying the beast. The beast took a final slash on my face, leaving me with the scar.
Fascinating. So that's how you got that scar?
Aye, lad. 'Tis how I got the scar. But both myself and Mana had slayed the beast, and our tallies were tied. So it's on to the next quest to see who would slay the most beasties.
Wow! You defeated that twin-headed wolf. What's the next creature from the quest? What happened next? I need to know! Tell me!
Calm down, lass. I'm just getting to that part. Everything will make sense after I tell you this next part. After a short rest, Mana and good old Erronfold here were recovered enough to take on the next task. This one was to slay a Great Flamed Salamander in the fire pools of Mount Ashana. This one was a trickier task, more so since Mana was a battle mage who specialised in fire magic, something that this beast was highly resistant to. Despite that, we needed to break the tally, so off we went. As we got closer to the pools of fire where this beast had its lair, the heat was becoming a little bit intense. Thankfully though, Mana, who luckily for her was resistant to it, managed to absorb a large amount of the heat as we went through the winding passages. Along the way, we didn't encounter any new beasts. As we got to the end of the tunnels, we came to the fire pools, a large open area filled with pools of magma, giving off strong fire energy. Hate to admit it, but back then it was more heat than I could handle. Though with Mana about, we had a bit of an advantage in terms of the heat and fire elements, but there was still a limit to what could be done, and we were about to push that limit till it breaks. Although I knew this, it was not something we could turn back from. Pushing our limits is what helps adventurers get stronger. And now, we were rivals. Through the bonds of battle, it was at this point, the Great Flamed Salamander let an ear-shattering cry. The pools of fire began to bubble as the lava started to spout up in pillars to the roof of the cave. As we got on guard, a pair of glowing eyes of this beast came out the shadows in the backs of the pools. The lava split over its body into the ground. Mana was taking care of the heat while I distracted the beast, hitting it several times with my spear, though barely making a scratch in its thick hide. Mana was taking on the fire blasts and dealing with the heat, using her fire-based abilities. Between the damage done by Mana and this beast, not much progress was being made. We knew it'd be a tough beastie, but we didn't think it'd be a stalemate, even though they were both using fire magic and resistance. It was a short time later, while the beast was distracted, I managed to stab it in the eye. The beast roared and got angry. As it opened its mouth, Mana shot a giant fireball into it. The beast closed its mouth startled, and it started to expand bit by bit, with the light coming out from its skin, its body glowing and growing more and more as the light got brighter. This beast was about to explode. I went to jump in front of Mana to take the brunt of the blast. However, as I went to jump, I was frozen in place. She turned to face me and only uttered 2 words as a tear came down her face. I win. Then, with a smile, she was engulfed by the light and explosion. I awoke. No idea how long I was out for, but there was no sign of the beast nor Mana. I searched as long as I could, but there was no sign of her. She was gone. Vaporized is my guest.
Erronfold, I don't know what to say, but how come you bring this up now?
Well, lad, remember Loki trapped me in midair so I couldn't move?
Yeah, what about it?
It was the same feeling as when I tried to protect Mana, which means that her death, her fate, wasn't just that. She was killed by Loki. I don't think he expected me to survive the explosion back then. That damn blasted cat didn't even recognize me. But I know it was him. Mark my words, lad. I'm gonna make him pay.
Looks like Loki's got his claws into more than the gang has expected. And Erronfold has had a bit of a tough past. But looks like this realization has motivated Erronfold to deal with this demonic cat. Will he manage to get his revenge and deal with Loki's immobilizing magic? I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. If you like this episode and you want to see more of Erronfold and the gang,